is walking in right now. You're looking at live pictures at the United Nations. That's Mahmoud Abbas walking into some applause, as you can hear there. He's just about to give a speech right now. Now, people are watching all over the world, anticipating what he has to say. Now, here we are, back at the United Nations. A loud round of applause for Mahmoud Abbas. It is a very highly anticipated speech and has been a contentious issue also, as despite a lot of support for Mahmoud Abbas's Palestinian bid, both the US and Israel have strongly expressed their opposition to Abbas's bid for a Palestinian state. He's getting a standing ovation. That could be a sign of the support he's getting from some 140 other countries for his bold move, despite both the US and Israel warning that this could weigh in on their relations.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I have the honor to welcome to the United Nations His Excellency, the Chairman of the Executive Committee of the Palestinian Liberation Organization and President of the Palestinian Authority, and I ask him to address the Assembly.
In
the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, Mr. President of the General Assembly of the United Nations, Mr. Secretary General of the United Nations, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I extend my congratulations to His Excellency Mr. Nasser Abdulaziz al-Nasser on his assumption of the presidency of the Assembly for this session, and I wish him every success. Today, I extend my sincere congratulations on behalf of the Palestine Liberation Organization and the Palestinian people to the government and people of South Sudan for its deserved admission as a full member of the United Nations, wishing them progress and prosperity. I also congratulate the Secretary General, His Excellency Mr. Ban Ki-moon, for his election to a new term at the helm of the United Nations. This renewal of confidence reflects the world's appreciation for his efforts, which have strengthened the role of the United Nations. Excellencies, the question of Palestine is intricately linked with the United Nations via the resolutions adopted by its various organs and agencies, and through the essential and lauded role of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, which embodies the international responsibility toward the plight of Palestine's refugees, who are the victims of Al-Nakba, the catastrophe that occurred in 1948. We aspire for and seek a greater and more effective role for the United Nations in working to achieve a just and comprehensive peace in our region that ensures the inalienable, legitimate national rights of the Palestinian people as defined by the resolutions of international legitimacy embodied by the United Nations. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, a year ago, at the same time, and in this hall, distinguished leaders and heads of delegations addressed the stalled peace efforts in our region. Everyone had high hopes for a new round of final status negotiations, which had begun in early September in Washington under the direct auspices of President Obama and with the participation of the International Quartet as well as Egypt and Jordan, to reach within 1 year a peace agreement. We entered those negotiations with open hearts and attentive ears and sincere intentions, and we were ready with our documents, our papers, and our proposals. But these negotiations broke down just weeks after they were launched. After this, we did not give up and we did not cease our efforts for initiatives and contacts. Over the past year, we did not leave a door to be knocked, or channel to be pursued, or path to be taken, and we did not ignore any formal or informal party of influence and stature to be addressed. We positively considered the various ideas and proposals and initiatives presented from many countries and parties. But all of these sincere efforts and endeavors undertaken by international parties were repeatedly smashed against the rock of the positions of the Israeli government, which quickly dashed the hopes raised by the launch of negotiations last September. The core issue here is that the Israeli government refuses to commit to terms of reference for the negotiations that are based on international law and UN resolutions. And it frantically continues to intensify building settlements on the territory of the state, of the future state of Palestine. Settlement activities embody the core of a policy of colonial military occupation of the land of the Palestinian people and all of the brutality of aggression and racial discrimination against our people that this policy entails. This policy, which constitutes a breach of international humanitarian law and UN resolutions, is the primary cause for the failure of the peace process, the collapse of dozens of opportunities, and the burial of the great hopes that arose from the signing of the Declaration of Principles in 1993 between the Palestine Liberation Organization and Israel to achieve a just peace that would begin a new era for our region. The reports of United Nations missions, as well as reports by several Israeli institutions and civil societies, convey a horrific picture about the size of the settlement campaign, which the Israeli government does not hesitate to boast about, and which it continues to execute through the systematic confiscation of the Palestinian lands and the construction of thousands of new settlement units in various areas of the West Bank, particularly in the Arab part of Jerusalem and throughout the West Bank, and through the accelerated construction of the racist annexation wall that is eating up large tracts of our land, dividing it into separate and isolated islands and cantons, destroying family life and communities and harming the livelihoods of tens of thousands of families. The occupying power also continues to refuse issuing permits for our people to build in occupied East Jerusalem, and at the same time it intensifies its decades-long campaign of the demolition and confiscation of homes, displacing Palestinian owners and residents under a multi-pronged policy of ethnic cleansing aimed at pushing them away from their ancestral homeland. Moreover, matters have reached the point where orders have been issued to deport elected representatives from their city of Jerusalem.